Been having a intermittent starting problem with my Jeep, and it started a couple months ago. I had a cracked flywheel, so I replaced it. So then, I don't remember the timeline for sure. Not long after I replaced flywheel, was driving home, started bucking and kicking. Um, through a, I don't remember what code it threw, but it threw a code. So I was like, it's probably just that crank sensors. You know, I've had the Jeep 3 years. These are constant. I know they're a problem with them. I've had them in problems with my last Jeep with them. So I put a new one in. There was really no good testing info out there. It's just, to me, it's just a waste of time. So I put it in, brand new one, NGK and TK. Those are one I've always had really good luck with them. So, like I said, I don't remember the timeline for sure. It's been going on for 3 months. Not long after that, started doing the same thing, and it buck and kick. I thought maybe it was with a heat cycle where heat sink was setting in. These Jeeps are famous for that. But it just didn't make no sense. I didn't have a problem until I replaced the flywheel. Oh. So I started just digging around. I had an extra cam sensor for the distributor. I swapped that out, thinking I've never had a bad one, but you never know. So I'd swap that. Same thing. It buck and kick once in a while, and then it started where just one started, just crank. Yeah. So I checked. I had no fuel pressure. I didn't hear the fuel pump kicking on when I cycled the key. I had no spark. So, the no spark issue usually shuts down the fuel pump. So I went through and tested everything. I had all my 5-volt references. And for the hell of it, I crawled underneath and ran 12 volts to the fuel pump. Well, the fuel pump kicked on. It's like, okay, we're just not getting the power back here. So I went and checked the relays on the PDC. And on the one, I jumped it from 87 terminal to the 37 terminal, and the pump didn't kick on. All right. So I popped the PDC out. Sorry about the light, guys. I don't know what's going on there. I popped the whole PDC out and flipped it over. And so a blue wire with a white tracer comes off of here. And I check for, it feeds the fuel pump. So I check for continuity from here over to the wire loom over there. Had continuity. So I thought maybe I had a break in the wire here somewhere. So then I just decided to run 12 volts in it. So I jumped 12 volts to it. Heard the fuel pump kick on. So okay, I just got a bad relay. Swapped the relay out. Didn't even last a day. Went right back. It started good. Go to leave. There it sat cranking. Again, no spark, no fuel pressure. And I was like, I'm missing something here. This has been going on now it's been 3 months. I even cleaned the grounds. One up there, one coming off the block down here. Cleaned them all up. I even ran an extra ground up to here. We did the ground on here too, just to make sure there wasn't a grounding issue. That, if you work on Jeeps, the grounds. Any old Mopar, actually. Your kids. So, like I said, I went through, I checked everything. I had 5-volt reference coming off the gray one here. Everything tested good. That's what was so bizarre. This is the crank sensor. That's the third one on there. It's like it can't be a crank sensor at this point. So then, just got to thinking. Nothing but thinking for 3 months. I remembered it had an alarm. I don't know what's going on with that, guys. Sorry about that. I had one of these in there. And I thought, yeah, that would make sense. I never had a fob for it, so I never gave it a thought. I knew it was here. So now I get to undo all the lovely wiring underneath here. if I take and jump the orange and yellow here together, and then crank it over, I got the battery disconnected. Crank it over, fire right up. Runs great. Always did run great when it ran. That's what's so frustrating. So, moral of the story is, if you're having issues, check to see if somebody put an alarm in somewhere along the line. 30-year-old vehicle. Yeah. But hopefully this helps somebody. I get to go through and screw around with wiring, do some soldering. I still don't know where these wires came from. I have no idea. I'll have to do some digging for a diagram. But, alright guys. Hope this helps you out, man. I'm out.